Hello everybody and welcome to your Friday edition of the MCN. Let's see what everyone's talking about and things that are happening in the crazy world of Marvel Contest of Champions, shall we? So first of all, you might have seen the correction, compensation, whatever it is, for the rework vote system-y thing. Do you remember, like, right early on there was a bit of a problem? People weren't able to kind of like get their votes in, and that would mean as people lose out, they would not be able to grab their units based on the climb of doing the ballot tracker and getting all those lovely units. Now that has been compensated, that is in your inboxes, but I know there are some people out there that have not received it or have received the correction and kind of nothing attached to it. So we got something, but something was attached to it, and I previously opened the other one, not recording in the video. But yeah, some people saying that they've missed out of it. Do, by the way, check your stash. A lot of people not logging in today, or haven't logged in for a couple of days for whatever reason. So check your stash, maybe. And Kebamsaurus Rex, Karate Mike said it should be in a stash if it didn't attach to the message. This happened last week with another compensation. Something might be up with that. Going to talk with some folks to see if there's an issue there. There was something to do with like the amount of votes, blah blah blah. And but if you haven't received it, and then get in contact with Kabam. That's probably the best thing to do. Next up, and did you check what was going on X, or the reveals? You know, the chairs of like. This actor is taking his chair. Some people were a bit confused and went, Tom Holland wasn't there. That means he's not in it. He's probably in it. It's just that they've kind of like put the base layer of people there just so that people go, oh, right, okay, that makes sense because it's those people. And, there's something called a surprise. People watch Marvel movies. They like to be surprised nowadays, don't they, about some of the characters and some of the, actors that are going to be in it. Yeah, that's right. Surprise. Anyway, all joking aside, because people love to leak stuff and then other stuff like that. But anyway, characters that are not in Marvel Contest of Champions. There are a fair few that were in that list that or in those chairs that have not made their way to be actual champions in game. Whether or not it's US Agent, whether or not it is Mbaku, and whether or not it is you could. Thing is, everybody, there is potential leaks about a particular character, but let's say Yelena is not going to be a future character, he says. Anyway, there's of course like stuff out there to maybe they can say differently, but let's face it, there are a few characters that are there that have not been put in. But would you like to see any of the characters that have not been put into game that were movie actors and actresses that representing those particular characters? Would you like to see them in game? Whether it's is it US Agent? I keep thinking I want to call it something else, but maybe it is US Agent. Anyway, let me know if there's any character out there we haven't seen. Anyway, season standings and the Lost War or the First War. Sometimes you remember at the start of the season, like I do, that the things like just don't seem to go according to plan. The story of Kabam's life at the moment. But with that particular war that didn't count right at the very beginning, what's the impact of stuff? Because that's the other thing, like the impact. Like you might have won a war, but it didn't count. But it was meant to count. So what is happening with the standings? Like, are some alliances going to slip down? It could be quite interesting because some people might be going down like another tiering, which means they miss out on some, better rewards, so to speak. Definitely at the start of this week, there was a question being posed, and of course, answering the question about info on the missing war. Dave said, "I don't off the top of my head. Something I need to follow up on when I get back in on Monday." I want to say that was the 24th. Was there any further updates? Slightly. Karate Mike, as we said in the post, as of now, we don't have a timeline attached, but we'll update as soon as we can target and execute the plan. There isn't a definitive update yet, but it's still expected to be fixed before the conclusion of the season. I think the conclusion of the season is going to be next week. Is it like the Wednesday? Just before Wednesday? Yeah, we've got 5 days left. So that kind of like pinpoint, or like Tuesday kind of time for that. So yeah, it'd just be nice to kind of like find out, well, what's going with it, what's going on with it, because people are going to be potentially losing out on rewards, won't they? Providing that's how Kabam might tackle it. So you might be like sitting on, I don't know, 10 mil points or something, and it gets then downgraded to like 8 million points, and that could mean that you've kind of gone from being like up here to down here. Not exactly, but that's the theory based on, if we went down to specifics of like, oh, if you got like 300k per fight, and what is the standard one? Depending, no, it's a lot. That's a lot more points, really. It's more like 200k, isn't it? That's like 200k up, or a little bit, like a lot lower then, depending on, of course, on your tiering, or where you are tiering in your war and your maps. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't feel like a total punishment, but it may be something you'll feel towards start of next week, maybe. Now let's do a bit of coverage on Daredevil 7-star. If you are one of these people that purchased the Hell's Bells, and those Hell's Bells tokens had a bit of a time kind of stamp to them. We were told in the live stream back a little while ago that it was a weekly bundle granting 1 Hell's Bells and 1 Bullseye Valiant Crystal, 2 bundles per week. So that's 18 total, runs for 9 weeks alongside the show. And that, by the way, for those interested in concept? I know you said something else there. I don't know what I was contraception, I think I was about to say. I don't know why. Anyway, April 15th is the last week of the show for Daredevil Born Again. I never said Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. Well, he is there theoretically. But yeah, it goes along with the show. It does feel like there's going to be about 18 tokens. Now that hasn't been 100% confirmed by Kabam, because you can see here. When is this confirmed? And the full kind of like details of this, because obviously people have asked the question because they want to find out what they kind of like buy. At least with that light essence, we knew what was happening with that. It felt like it was very kind of like sketchy and airy fairy wishy washy with that, which I don't know if it's a Britishism. I don't know if anyone has that term anywhere else, but it's kind of like very whimsical, very nonchalant, very messy, but not Cristiano Ronaldo. So to get to the point of the matter, I know there's a thread here about it, and Kabam had to kind of like ask the question, because this was one of the key ones. Are all 18 Hell's Bells required to complete this chain? Because you don't want to feel like you're losing out. Anyway, because there's nothing in game to go like, here's the well, I'm pretty certain there's nothing in game to kind of like showcase the trade in. Even though just a quick look, I don't think it is, because it's more of a kind of like a coming soon type thing, especially when I look into game. So a bit more context on this, because like, you know, multiple threads are asking the same thing. With it, we know what to do with Phoenix, we know what to do with like Essence for Lumitrix, and what about Hell's Bells? Well, it's confirmed here. So Kabamasaurus Rex Karate Mark says 18 Hell's Bells for 7-star Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, and other goodies on the way to obtain him. If you don't purchase each bell, you'll be able to move through the track using units on the day he's live. And I guess it's just like trying to find out when exactly it is live, because I didn't see it. This is the first time I've seen official posting about how many Hell's Bells will take Daredevil. It was all laid out in the live stream. They've been out for 3 weeks now, I believe. I don't think it was. I remember listening back to that live stream, or we've even said that. I don't think it is. But yeah, anyway, a bit more here. Light Essence should be the next iteration of raids. Yes, I do believe it's the present. It is present in Battlegrounds Season 28 as well. So at least we know that it's going to... I mean, we theorized that as well. We said on the channel it would be Light Essence in every single season so far. If you don't have 12, you can trade it for the 6-star and obtain more Essence via the weekly daily deals. That means money. Yeah. And I agree here. Like, I'm pretty certain the Hell's Bells was not say could it be wrong. At least the slide didn't say it, and it didn't. So at least we know now, right? At least we know now. But I didn't say. Maybe they said about it, but I don't think they did. I'm just assuming with the facts were being 2 bundles per week, runs for 9 weeks. 2 times 9, the last time I checked, is 18. So that's how we kind of worked out that. And of course, this kind of will go into the release cadence of the stuff. And yeah, it was April 15th, 2025. Maybe when you see it. So look forward to it next month because it was running for a larger length of time. So you might have noticed in game and kind of finishing off the show today, there's been a buff to Act 5 rewards. This is really interesting. Kabam are going back and buffing old rewards, and I guess falls into line with like meta changes of stuff. I know there are a lot of people that would probably have questions like, why should players get access to this first and foremost? There might be questions as to like when could you get compensation and get this length of stuff, this extent of stuff that's quite nice? We'll come back to that topic in a minute. But you can see here, like, there's some nice things on offer. Tier 6 basic, Tier 3 alpha, 7-star shards for the exploration. And I'm not 100% sure on the units. Somebody totaled in and said there's more units, but I don't want to say that categorically because we don't have the old to kind of compare with the new with that particular theory. There's definitely better ISO as Kabam give out that. 6-star shards and 6-star crystals seem to be kind of like bumped up a little bit more. And there is also mythic crystals. Oh, they're being 6-star nexuses, which is great for new players. I would have loved the 6-star nexus after I 100%ed Act 5. But from what I gather and what I remember of that time, there was only 5-star shards and 5-star type of champions on offer. So this is a very different state of affairs for it, and that's great news for new players. And that's the one thing that I kind of always look at this is like, if Kabam want to encourage new players to play the game and make gains very early on, then this is good for new players and also to compete with others, but also to have access to champions that are able to take them through a large amount of content very early days, early doors even, and that is I think it's good. Is it, you know, for my, I mean, I've done it ages ago, and getting this stuff I can get really easily as a Valiant player, and I think a lot of people that even at Cavalier would easily get some of the things that are, even most of these that are kind of put right here. I think if you just completed it, and maybe that's the other thing as well, there's been no confirmation, so no confirmation from Kabam that there will be any kind of level of compensation. If they did, it could fall into that 90-day cadence, or indeed it may fall into 30 days. But there's nothing confirmed about this. Yeah, nothing. Kabam haven't said that they're going to be, I don't know, giving people that accessed it those things. It would be nice if you recently completed completed or explored Act 5, but I don't think they'll do it anytime soon. Anyway, that's been it for the show for today. We might have another video later on. I'm just seeing what I want to cover and where my best saga champions to rank and, you know, focus on this saga is. If not, that'll be out on Saturday. It's just a lot of these videos taking a bit of time to put together and make, and especially do a Google Drive sheet. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.